on the ingredients, the turmoil. Yeah. And then it happened. And I dare say that they also, the Sandinista, the problems that are going to happen in the future in South and Central America, they were tuned into that way before I was. I mean, I listened to the music, but I wasn't listening to the political climate that was going on around it.
I think there's a psychological and historical idea that the artists always get there first.
Artists always get there first.
The artists always get there first.
Why is that, you think? They got more time on their hands because they don't have real jobs, or?
Because there's a real sense of economic insecurity that is part of the foundation of these lyrics. And you got to remember, that's pre-Reagan even at that point.
That was Jimmy, man.
That they were feeling that.
Yeah, that was Jimmy Carter, 79, right?
The artist, just to jump around a little bit, the artist idea is the idea that it's the same idea as the muse, and it's the same idea as being in the groove, and it's the same idea. It's the idea of transcending something to see higher. It's the metaphysical idea of transcending and being able to see what other people can't. Well, and that's what artists supposedly can do. But it tortures them. The idea of the tortured artist, because he always understands the things that other people don't.
What was their media source? How did they get access to this? They didn't have CNN. We didn't have the internet. You barely had, AM, FM radio back then. So
you broadcast it through music.
No, but how did they know that this was going on? Through the local newspaper? That's what I'm getting at. I mean, how do you
actually read their? I mean, the media is really the printed word. So
well, it was then, and so to speak now, but they didn't have access to all the information. I mean, you've got a computer in your hand right now with a phone application on it.
They actually had to go out and put a nickel in a newspaper machine and actually
pull out the paper and then actually.
And couldn't that, to a certain extent, you say, inform like this kind of raw, almost arrogance that they have in their music, that they're making the effort to stay more informed, they think, than just to say the common civilian.
Sure. I mean, Bob Marley basically wrote everything down. He was always reading the Bible and the newspaper. Mm-hmm. And he was just breaking it all down in terms of his philosophy. So he was always engaged in what was going on. And the Clash too. I mean, they're totally getting their fingers on what's going on in the culture. They're reading up on the history. I mean, the song that we just played a minute ago, Lover's Rock, it's just a love song. It's got a love song feel, but it's about the difference between sex for enjoyment and sex for procreation. And the words, you Western man, you're free with your seed, and you make lovers rock. But whoops, there goes the strength that you need to make real cool lovers rock.
And I guess what I'm saying is some of it is conscious and some of it's not conscious.
Oh, yeah.
Some of it is transcendently conscious, meaning that it's more of this idea of they're picking up on things that everybody feels, but they can't put into words yet. Almost like a dream state, almost like a dream state before something actually comes into reality.
There's like a sentiment that doesn't yet have a philosophy, almost.
Yeah.
That's
driving
them.
The same idea.
Yeah.
So they weren't just punks that were hungry and looking to get a buzz.
I think they're definitely just punks that are hungry, that are looking to get a buzz. But I think that allows them a certain view in society that creates a different aspect of what they're dealing with and what the common people. I mean, if every day you go to work, at noon you have lunch, you have a break, you get a cigarette break, at home you have to do the same thing every day.
Yeah.
Your life is fixed in a certain way, and you don't have a need to see anything bigger than where you are. Yeah. Because your body, especially your mind, will focus itself on just what it needs to do.
Industrialization of mankind.
Yeah. But you put somebody in an area where they're hungry, and what am I going to do for my next meal? Where am I playing tomorrow? Because if I don't get a gig, then I've got to then I really actually do have to worry about eating, and I don't know at the time how hungry they were, but I think going through those things actually creates a different brain waves and allows them
a whole different perspective.
On
Yeah.
Right, absolutely. The song, the card sheet, this goes on to just illustrate the fact that they just had their hands and everything. He wrote Strummer wrote the lyrics of the song, and he had been reading the poetry of Sylvia Plath.
Oh.
And the darkness of her writing could well have been an influence on the dark lyrics of the card sheet. So like he'd been reading this, and this again fits into this outsider theme, going against the grain.
The isolation, the disillusion.
Yeah, the solitary man crying, "Hold me," it's only because he's lonely. If the keeper of time runs slowly, he won't be alive for long. That's the opening lyrics of the song. So,
But in some of these cases, it's presented in these bite-sized, very digestible nuggets of melody.
right.
So if you look at the lyrics as opposed to the melody that they created for those lyrics, there's kind of a stark contrast between those two.
Absolutely. Just, I guess I'm using this word again, grit. Coca-Cola. Here are the lyrics. Elevator going up in the gleaming corridors of the 51st floor. The money can be made if you really want some more. Executive decision and clinical precision. Jumping from the windows followed with indecision. I get advice from the advertising world. Treat me nice, party girl. Coke adds life where there isn't any. So freeze, man, freeze. It's the pause that refreshes in the corridors of power. When top men need a top up long before the happy hour. Your snake skin suit and your alligator boot. You won't need a laundrette. You can take them to the vet.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Hey, they misspelled Coca-Cola, I would imagine, or
the lyrics of that almost remind me of The Stroke.
oh yeah. Oh,
If you cut to like 5 or 6 years later, then you got The Stroke coming out, and that's about it's kind of the same theme, which is that we want you to produce a hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's corporate America controlling your music.
He talks about cocaine, Coca-Cola advertising and cocaine rolling down the Broadway in the rain. Neon light sign says that I read it in the paper, they're crazy. You suit your life, maybe so. In the White House, I know. All over Berlin, they do it for years, and in Manhattan. So, yeah. This is a business. We're all coked up. We're trying to make that extra buck. It reminds me of that scene in Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh yeah,
That scene, that scene.
Yeah, well, there are other scenes.
Not the opening scene.
Yeah.
Get it there. That's awesome.
All right, well, what's up next?
Let's see. What is up next is we have 2 left. So Revolution Rock, London Calling.